Hello, I'm Game Retainer, and in this video I've got something a little different. I was playing around in the prefab editor and I came across a couple of Horde bases that were made by the developers. So we'll load them up, take a look at them and see how they hold up. Now I will just quickly show you how to open all this up yourself if you want to have a play. I don't know if this works on console, so if you are on console then let me know. But head into editing tools and then just click on level/prefab editor. Once you've loaded in, you should see this weird trippy screen. Open up the menu and then navigate over to prefab browser, and you'll be able to see all of the POIs that are both in testing and in the actual game. Everything is here. Typing in base, it'll bring up a few options. It's the top two that you want to look at. There's the regular Horde base and the cheese Horde base. Now, I will look at both of them and we'll see how they hold up. But if you want to load one in, then unsurprisingly, click load. Once the POI has been brought into the game, if you do actually want to test it out in play terms, then head over to debug tools and just click playtest. Now that we've loaded up playtest, let's have a look at this place. It's not particularly big. I took a look at the blocks and everything's made of concrete, with the exception of the iron hatches, which are made of iron. It is pretty simple. I do see a couple of problems. I'm assuming this was made pre 2.0 because zombies can now crawl through those gaps, but we'll test it anyway and then we'll modify it and we'll see what we can do to improve it. So I haven't modified the base in any way. I've spawned in a handful of helpful Darlenes and we'll see how the base fares up. I mean, very little rage mode at the minute. I'm not going to shoot them, I want to see... Oh. Well, they're pushing each other off. So that's interesting. Ah, okay, now they're making it over a little bit. So, this base will need some tweaking in order to make it fit for the whole zombies being able to squeeze through small gaps thing. But it does slow them down considerably. So let's fix things up and try another test. Alright, so things have been reset. The only change I've made is I've put a single scaffolding block there. Hopefully that'll stop them jumping over, but let's find out. I mean, the hatch isn't going to last long, so it would need repairing. But now that I've put that block up, it seems like the zombies are just kind of going around in circles. They're not raging that much, are they? Oh, yeah, yes they are. Okay, so they will rage. I don't know what damage that'll do, but it's not a bad base. If you're here shooting them as they go, then it's not all that bad. They don't seem to rage for that long, and then they make their way back up. I guess if you fix up the blocks so that they're concrete or steel, and you keep on top of the zombies up here and shoot them, maybe throw down a few spikes, I could see this being a viable base. I want to see how it fares up with cop spit though, because I don't think these blocks will defend me from that. So let's just give that a quick test before we look at the next one. Alright, we have a couple of cops spawned in. Now I know they can't spit through scaffolding blocks, but I'm pretty sure that they can spit through these fence blocks. Yes, they can. But if I stand behind here, then they can spit as much as they like and they can't get me. I'll just show that when they decide to spit. No, don't spit on him, spit at me. Yeah, see, a problem with this one is they can spit from down there, but if you replace all the blocks with this scaffolding, then you're pretty safe from them. I think aside from that, the only other changes I would make is I would put more hatches down along here. I would obviously replace these blocks with scaffolding, and I would build a cube over the whole thing so you've got protection from vultures as well. And then maybe an alternative exit around the back, but this is actually a pretty decent base. Now let's take a look at the cheese one. Okay, so I loaded in the cheese base and it is absolutely massive. The time it would take you to build this is astronomical. So, probably not a great idea for the game, but we'll test it out anyway. There are also lots and lots of spikes. I'm assuming this sort of zigzaggy thing is to throw the zombies off and maybe knock them down here. Who knows? We'll test it out. We'll see how it works, but there are way easier cheese bases than this. But it still might be fun. So looking at it in playtest mode, I guess the zombies will make their way through here and then up. I don't know if they'll fall and if it'll hurt or what, but let's give it a test. Now we have an army of Arlenes at the bottom. I'm gonna make my way to the very top and then we'll just see how long it takes for them to get to me. Right, I waited a while and they did not make their way up, so I'm gonna go down and see what the holdup is. Okay, so it turns out they killed themselves on the spikes. Let's try this from another angle. Right, I figured the best way to show this one working is to spawn a few in. Now, some of them will get to me, but it seems like when they hit a corner, they jump off. You'll see them go around the back, and then once they get up to the corner around down behind me, they jump off. A few of them will make their way up, so that's why I'm guessing there's so many floors to this, is because they will just gradually, continually jump off and then jump into the spikes and eventually die. I mean, you won't get any XP, but it's an interesting design. As you can see now, a couple did get up to me, and I'm getting hit, but if I was up higher, then they would have jumped off on one of the other ledges. Just to give you a close-up look, they've put some effort in at the top for some reason. It's a nice chandelier, you got some viewpoints. I would probably replace the door with a hatch and some scaffolding just to give yourself a little fighting position. But just the sheer size on this one, it's kind of redundant. You're not going to need a structure this big to make a cheese base. You can make a very small cheese base. It's interesting, it's unique. So yeah, well done Fun Pimps, I guess. But I hope you found this video interesting. It's cool that the Fun Pimps have made their own little bases. I'm not sure how old they are. My guess is they're relatively old, but they were still cool to check out. As always, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. I know I've already done the outro, but for those who want to build something like this for themselves, I thought I'd just show footage of all angles of this one and the previous one, just so you can take pictures and build it yourself, I guess.